Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our channel today, the home of news, the home of critical analysis, the home where you get news before they hit the ground. Ladies and gentlemen, the president has lost so much since he came into the office. He started losing the first day, and he has lost so much from the trust that he had that was bestowed to him by the people of Kenya, now under the bridge. Again, when you look at the perception that Kenyans have against William Ruto is that he rarely tells people what the actual situation is. He never talks about the fact, and most of the things he says are not true. That is the perception that Kenyans have about William Ruto. Other than that, William Ruto has lost so much, such that I've always opined in this channel that if there is one person who is steering it first time very easily, is none other than William Ruto. So in this video, I want us to look at what has he lost so far, and can he regain what he has lost. Number one, William Ruto has lost Mount Kenya. The truth of the matter is that even Mount Kenya East is gone. The truth of the matter is that more than 45% of the votes that came from William Ruto, he got them from the mountain. So the elephant in the room is, though he has gained some ground, can the lost ground be compensated by what he is gaining? Because I also believe he has gained in Nyanza, he has gained in Coast, he has gained maybe even in Nairobi. But the loss in the mountain is monumental, is huge, and it take much effort and time to be compensated. Number two, in my view, is that William Ruto has lost the votes of the Gen Z. Going by what happened in this country in June 25 this year, when the Gen Z invaded or overran the National Assembly, and we saw the leaders of various constituencies running for their dear lives, and what followed were abductions, what followed were street protests, what followed were extrajudicial killings, what followed were arbitrary arrest, and many people, even today, a number of people today have never been traced. Some people fear even talking about their people who have never been traced, never to be seen again. So this one is something that angered the Gen Z. And when you look at this nation, more than 65% of the population, of the Kenyan population, constitute of people who are below 30 years. That is the truth of the matter. Among these people are voters. Among these people are people who have been hurt. Among these people are people who friends died. And when you look at it, especially when you listen to the Gen Z, you realize that these people are ready to vote for anybody other than somebody who is associated with William Ruto. Can he recover the Gen Z votes that has been lost? I highly doubt, because even from his home background, you realize that the Gen Z are not happy with him. So when you look at it, you will see this is another constituency that cannot be recovered, may come what. I don't know what he can do to recover this lost constituency. Number three, in my view, is the church. Remember, the church had a candidate. The Church of Christ had a candidate, none other than Rigathi Gachagua, who used to tell Kenyans that the church had a candidate in the name of William Ruto. And also, if you remember, the church was in the front line to campaign for William Ruto, because according to them, they felt that this was somebody who came from from heaven, and they strongly believed that it was the best thing that ever happened to Kenya. And now, when you look at the church today, the church is regretting. When you go to the pulpit, you hear the way they are preaching. Some of them even saying it in the presence of William Ruto. And in fact, today, many of church leaders do not even want to see politicians in their churches, because they know that they can lose the tithe, they can lose the offering, and people can literally walk away because of seeing politicians in churches. So the fact that today they are not even given forums to speak, it tells a story. So if the church is a lost ground, and you know the church, when we talk about the church, we are talking about a huge population. If this is gone, I don't know how William Samuel Ruto is going to recapture this lost ground. The other group of people that William Samuel Ruto seems to have lost is the workers, the civil servant. And the reason why he has lost this is because many of two major issues. Number one is because of the housing levy. The housing levy, where every employed worker is supposed to pay 2.5% of his gross income. And then you realize that this is a lot of money. And since William Samuel Ruto introduced that tax, you realize many people pay a lot of money. And you know, when you consider that their salaries are meager, then you know they are left with nothing. The take home is nothing but just a pay slip in the name of a pay slip. The civil servant in Kenya are those kind of people where if you raise their legs upwards and their heads downward, not a single coin would fall on the ground. And again, there is also the issue of she and SHA, the social health insurance and the social whatever you may call it, dogged with so many problems, and the workers are feeling it. Even those who are not employed are not happy. Even those who are working on their own, self-employed, and others who are actually working in the workers sector, they are not happy because of there's so many challenges that they are undergoing. There's also the hustlers, the mama bogas, the boda bodas, mtu wa mkokoteni. Do you know of any mkokoteni guy who can vote for William Samoei Ruto? Do you know of any boda boda guy who can stand today and say that my vote is for William Samoei Ruto? When they give me a ride, and they often do, what happens is that I usually initiate a conversation, and what I've realized is that these people are very, very bitter. And when you ask them the reason, they tell you there's so many forced promises. They tell you that the things that came with William Samoei Ruto is that he came with the Bible, and when he held the Bible, what followed was actually terror, what we call terror, terrorizing the youth, and people were actually left with nothing. A number of them have packed their boda bodas at home. So I don't know how he's going to regain the hustlers. I don't think today William Samoei Ruto can stand up and tell people sipagwigwi, and people respond. I don't think whether he can come again and tell people bottom up. I don't know what he's going to say. I don't know the rallying call that he's going to use in 2027 because the hustlers are gone. So when you look at it, you realize that he has lost so much ground. And that is what is disturbing William Samoei Ruto, because he doesn't know how he's going to recover the lost ground. Because looking at the number of things that I've analyzed, and there are so many, by the way, and maybe you can add, if I may ask you, what do you think William Samoei Ruto has lost and cannot regain? I've just given us some few examples, and maybe you can write in the comment section. So guys, adios.